Hey, listen, they about to be mad at me for this one. Trust me, they're about to be mad at me for this one.
Hey you guys, thank you so much for coming back and watching another video. As you saw at the beginning, we're gonna be reacting to one of my fellow business credit YouTubers, Mr. Kelvin. I love his content. He's a really nice guy. Me and him, we've been chatting over texts, and you know, it's someone that I really respect and I really like his work. So today we're gonna be reacting to a video that he put out named Business Credit for Beginners, What is PG? So here we go. Welcome back, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in again to the Business Credit Vertex. So we're gonna be doing a reaction video. We're gonna react to a video that my fellow business credit YouTuber Kelvin put out. Kelvin and I, we've never met in person, but we chatted over text. He's a really nice guy. I recommend you guys go ahead and check out his content, subscribe to his channel. This is not a bashing video. If you were expecting to watch a video bashing another fellow content creator, we don't do that here. As a matter of fact, we follow Credit Plug, we follow Kelvin's channel, we follow these amazing creators who put out great content for you guys. So I recommend you to go and follow. And without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the video to react to Kelvin's video about business credit for beginners.
Business credit is unlike anything else. The process itself is unique. Imagine this. No matter if you're a Fortune 500 company or a single member LLC with absolutely no employees, you still have to follow the same process to establish your business's business credit.
Well, that is actually correct. I mean, it doesn't matter the size of your company. These guidelines and requirements have been established across the board for any company looking to establish their business credit to follow these guidelines in order for them to get business credit. So here what Kelvin is saying, hey, look, whether you have 100 employees or you are a single member LLC, you still have to follow the same guidelines for you to build your business credit. Let's continue watching.
For me, did you guys know that just 2 years ago in 2019, there were already over 30.7 million small businesses in the United States, which actually accounts for 99.9% of all businesses. We are the they. We small business owners are the ones that are truly out here grinding and evolving the US economy. If you're a small business owner that has not started building business credit, or you have none and don't plan to, trust me, take it from me, you are doing yourself a severe disservice.
So I really resonate with the small business being kind of like the driver of the economy in the United States. And the reason for that is that the bigger the companies, the less taxes they pay. Do you know that in 2018, Amazon generated $11 billion in revenue, and they pay in taxes? Do you know how much? Yep, you guessed it. They pay $0 in taxes, and they actually received a rebate of $129 million from the government. Go figured. So I resonate again with what Kelvin is saying. I'm not saying that Amazon is breaking the law, of course, and they pay an army of lawyers to be able to not pay that much money in taxes. So, but that's besides the point. I do definitely resonate and agree with the point that Kelvin is making here, that you and I as business owners, we're drivers of the US economy. So let's continue to watch here.
Here are the top 5 most frequently asked questions that I'm asked on a daily basis about how to build business credit. So you guys already know the first one has to be, drum roll please, what is PG? Everyone wants to know. If you're brand new to the business credit game, I'm sure if you're watching videos on YouTube, all you see is people talking about no PG, PG, no PG. We're not talking about Paul George or Curious George. We're talking about personal guarantee. So essentially what a personal guarantee is, if your business signs up for a business credit vendor or any other line of credit under your business's name, if you PG, what you're doing is you are personally taking financial responsibility for this business debt. If your business ever becomes unable to pay the debt and you don't pay it, then it's going to show up on your personal credit report. So yes, you heard me correct. If you were to default, meaning your business, on a business debt where you've PG'd, it will be you personally that's held responsible to pay that back. So that's what PG is.
So that's, that's straightforward. PG is personal guaranteeing whatever debt or whatever application you're putting in for business credit. Okay. So basically what you're telling the vendor is, hey, look, if the business for some reason cannot fulfill our agreement and pay the debt, then I'll step in and I'll pay the debt. And if I don't either, then that will show on my personal credit. So let's jump back in and let's continue watching.
Which leads me to the second most frequently asked question about how to build business credit is, when should I PG or should I PG at all? So the first thing I want to go ahead and address head on is this notion that you shouldn't PG under any circumstance, but this is just flat out untrue. If you have good credit, you should PG. You should PG every time, but the only difference is really what you want to consider or what you want to concern yourself with is whether or not it's going to be a hard or a soft pull. So if you don't know, a hard pull is when you apply for a line of credit, credit card, or a loan.
So I just want to stop it right there. So while we're not against completely personal guarantee in any application, I think this is our personal opinion, is that it wouldn't make sense for us to personal guarantee a business deal. I mean, that's how we see it. Whenever I was searching to acquire the vehicles under the business name, and this is not, by the way, no underwriter or business owner is going to see that as shady or as an indication that you're not going to pay the debt. That's not what it is. So in our case, again, when we were trying to acquire these vehicles under the business name, we were trying to keep the business as an entity completely separated from the consumer credit, our personal credit. So this is the only reason why we do not encourage personal guaranteeing too much. Again, we're not against it. We have personal guaranteed other deals. My thought process is that I will hold off and personal guarantee only when the deal requires it, if that makes sense. So you can't get a loan from a traditional banking or a credit card from a traditional banking without personal guaranteeing. Another thing that I want to address here that Kelvin mentioned, you should not be personal guaranteeing everything. If your credit is good, you shouldn't be doing that, okay? Now, if you are applying for consumer credit, of course you have to. Now remember, when you accept to personal guarantee an application, you're giving them permission to do a hard pull. There's no other way for them to figure out if your credit worthiness is enough to step in and take on the deal. There's no other way than doing a hard pull. So this is one of the reasons why we actually don't encourage personal guaranteeing. Again, we're not against personal guaranteeing, In our case, we hold off personal guaranteeing deals when only for deals that are worth it. We hold off just for those deals that we want to get done. We're not against it. We just wanted to, we encourage our audience not to do it so often because, you know, sometimes they're going to do a hard pull. Most of the time when you agree to do a personal guarantee, they'll do a hard pull. All right, let's jump back into the video.
And it will give you a hard inquiry on your personal credit report. Now, if it is a soft pull, it means they're going to just take a peek essentially at your credit report, but there will be no evidence. It's not going to create an inquiry on your credit report. So long story short, if you have good credit, you should always PG whenever you have the opportunity to do so without having a hard inquiry. The reason why I say this is because if you PG and when you PG, sometimes not only will you get higher credit limits, but more importantly, you may actually get approved even when your business profile may not be strong enough.
Okay, so this is very important here. He said, if you have good credit, you should be always personal guaranteeing. Again, we go back to that. If you personal guarantee every application that you put in, chances are that you're gonna get a lot of hard inquiries in your personal credit. Now, he says something that you are more likely to get higher credit when you personal guarantee it. I'm not gonna say that's not correct, but I'm gonna tell you that whenever you do apply, let me say it this way: the credit limits on business is higher, up to 10 times is higher than consumer credit. The fact that personal guaranteeing an application could give you higher credit, I'm not sure about that. I'm not gonna say it's not true, but I'm not sure about it. And now, again, if you are going to personal guarantee every application, like Kelvin said, chances are you're gonna get a lot of hard inquiries on your credit, okay?
On the flip side, if you do have bad credit, the first thing I'm gonna tell you is your number one priority should be cleaning up your personal credit.
That is very true. Like if you're building business credit, right? We always recommend that you work simultaneously on your personal credit because there are going to be deals that will depend on your personal credit. So for instance, there are institutions that they will lend you business funding, but it's going to be contingent to your personal credit. So we always recommend you guys to keep your personal credit, your consumer credit in order. Try to rely as much as possible on your business credit if you're applying for business credit, right? But when needed, again, I come back to that, when needed, then if you need to step in with your consumer credit, that you're good and ready to get a good deal because your personal credit is good.
Now, if you need help with that, I can assist you. Again, down below in the description, there's a link where you can schedule a free credit consultation to talk to me.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and also pop that link below on the comments. So if you want a consultation with Kelvin, I'm gonna put the link down below so you can go ahead and schedule a consultation with him in his calendar, okay?
Me about how we can help you get your credit where it needs to be. Now, if you do have bad credit, you want to avoid PGing in the early stages, but I must make this very clear. You cannot, no, let me not say you cannot. It will be extremely difficult to build business credit without ever PGing. I'm just going to keep it real with you. It will take much, much longer to build business credit. And then of course, you're going to have slim pickings on the types of vendors that you're going to be approved for. And if you jump the gun, you're going to get a lot more denials than someone who actually is leveraging their credit to.
That is very true, guys. Now, think about it this way. If your business is not well established, right? If you haven't been in business for a decent amount of time, that means that it's going to take you longer for you to build your business credit, but that's fine. That's part of the journey. However, though, if you want to build your business credit faster and you want to personal guarantee all of the applications that you're putting in, and if you don't have good credit, then that's going to be a problem. Now, keep in mind though that not all business credit applications give you the option to put a personal guarantee. Some of the business applications, they're just straight out business credit. Now, in the case of Citi, all the Citi applications, they give you the opportunity to put down a PG. So let's go ahead and continue watching, and let's jump back into the video.
Now, the second part of this question is, how do you avoid PGing? Now, there's really two main ways, two surefire ways to avoid PGing. The first way is to simply pick up the phone and call the lender and apply over the phone versus applying on the application, because if you're unsure, it's always best to just go ahead and apply over the phone, because when you're talking to the sales rep, you can simply say, hey, I just want to let you know I do not want to PG, and they'll say, it's okay. We are going to ask for your social security number, but it's only going to be for ID verification purposes only. Now, if you do apply online, I want you to get in the habit of looking for the little eye indicator, the little eye emblem that you will see beside most credit card applications where it's asking for your social security number. If you hover your mouse over that eye, not all applications have it, but most do, it will tell you whether or not this is for ID verifications only or if this is to check your credit. So if it says that they are going to check your credit or they're going to retrieve information from your consumer report, that's just a fancy way of saying, yes, we're going to give you.
Now, I want to just pause on that last part, okay? Because I know a lot of you are talking about, my credit is frozen. I froze my credit, freeze your credit, froze your credit, freeze your credit. So, and I understand your concerns, guys. You guys are coming from a place that you don't know exactly how these applications work. But remember, guys, I want you to look up something that is called the Patriot Act. And if you guys are not aware, the Patriot Act, and just to keep it simple and not to complicate things, the Patriot Act is basically to be able and try to stop people from funding terrorism. What does that have to do with the applications? Well, they have to confirm your ID. They have to confirm your information in order for you to submit to any financial institution. So this is actually a requirement from the government to these financial institutions that you need to provide your social security number and your personal information, and that's when they do a soft pull. They don't hard pull your credit. It's just to verify your identity and make sure that, you know, this financial institution is in compliance with the Patriot Act.
Now, the third most frequently asked question that I receive about how to build business credit is, how long does it take to build business credit? So the short answer is, realistically, it's going to take about 4 to 6 months. There is no fast road other than if you have good credit and you leverage your credit.
Yeah, so that's very important, guys. I mean, I know a lot of you on our Facebook group, you're like, oh, you know, I just opened up my business. I need business credit. I need a car. I need to buy a car under the business right now. I need it yesterday. I need a gas car yesterday. Guys, that's not how it works. Unfortunately, some of you are on that microwave kind of mentality, and nothing that is built that fast ever lasts. So just to be honest and transparent with you, business credit, Kelvin said that it takes anywhere from 4 to 6 months. So that's approximately what we say to our audience that it takes. It takes anywhere from 3 to 6 months for you to build, a decent amount of credit for your business. So just keep that in mind, guys. If you just open up your business and you file with the Secretary of State, like recently, the same year, sorry to break it to you, but it's going to take you a few months. And if you need something faster, then just do a personal guarantee. If you need a car yesterday, like some of you say, just go to a dealership and do a personal guarantee and you're better off.
Then yes, it's kind of like a shortcut. But realistically, again, 4 to 6 months. Now, most Net 30 vendors that you sign up for, take about 30 to 90 days to begin reporting. So during this process, make sure that you do at least make the minimum purchase once a month. So when it does report, you're giving the business vendors something to report, because if you only purchase one item one time over that 3 to...
So again, he is mentioning something. This is what we say, 3 to 6 months, because some of the vendors, it takes about 90 days, 3 months to report. Some vendors, they report monthly, like he said, but some other vendors, they report quarterly, which is every 90 days or every 3 months. So just to recap on that, that he was saying, this is one of the reasons we say it takes anywhere from 3 to 6 months to build your business credit.
At least make the minimum purchase once a month. So when it does report, you're giving the business vendors something to report.
That's very important, guys. I mean, when you apply for a vendor and they approve you, that doesn't mean that it's going to show on your business credit by default. Guys, you are approved, but in order for that to be reported to your business credit, you have to use that trade line. If you don't use the trade line, then it's not going to be reported. And the longer you wait to utilize that trade line, the longer it's going to take for that to show up on your business credit. And you know why? Because you're not using it. It just counts when you use the business credit, okay?
Which leads me to pump and dump. So if you've never heard of pump and dump, it's a common phrase in the business credit world to basically explain what I was just talking about. When you get a net 30 account or a vendor, just keep in mind you're really purchasing things on their website because you want to use the service they're providing, which is reporting to the business credit bureaus. Now, after you use this vendor for about 4 months, technically, you don't need it anymore, especially after you've noticed.
That's true, guys. I mean, I don't remember the last time that I ordered from Granger or any of these companies, because after I, use these companies as an entry level, okay, we don't talk about tiers. At the beginning of the channel, you will catch me talking about tiers, but I later realized that tiers doesn't really matter when you build a business credit. It doesn't make a difference. There are people with 3 months in business that they've been approved for gas cards. I have a second business that it was founded in March, and I got a $10,000 Shell gas card, and again, 3 months in business. But I digress, guys. So I don't know about pump and dump being used in the business credit world. Pump and dump, I've heard it more in the stock market and cryptocurrency world. I don't know if you guys remember about Shiba that was being buzzed around, but that is a strategy that some stockholders used for them to grow, right, the price, to drive the price up of the stock. And then once everybody is going crazy and jumping on the bandwagon and that price rises, then these guys, they pump it and dump it. So when everybody comes in and the price rises, then they pull the rug from beneath everybody and they pull out the money, and that's when the price of the stock start tanking. I know that's a tangent. I went in a tangent there, but I just wanted to let you know where the term pump and dump comes from. It's actually a stock market term, but it actually applies what Kelvin is mentioning here, which is you apply for these trade lines, you use them for a few, you pump your credit, and then you dump the trade line or the vendor because you're no longer going to use it.
And after you verified that this vendor has been reporting to the business credit bureaus for several months, after you've done that, you can just dump that net 30 account and move on to the next one, because unless you just really like their products, there's no reason to continue using that service when you've got what you needed out of it. Squeeze that lemon as much as you can and dump it in the trash can. That's just how I look at it. Now, keeping in mind that the whole purpose you're using these Net30 and other vendor accounts is to build and establish a business credit history, or more specifically, payment history. I do want to recommend that you guys try to get at least 10 vendors reporting to Dun & Bradstreet, and then 5 reporting to Equifax and Experian. Now, the more the merrier, but that should be the minimum. Now,
I just want to pause it right there, because that's very much aligned with what we've been telling our audience. You need at least 15 trade lines in order for you to cover all 3 business credit bureaus. At least 15 trade lines increase the odds of you getting covered all 3 vendors, okay? So what Kelvin is saying here is very much aligned what we think. You need to have enough trade lines, because if one doesn't report to one business credit bureau, the other one is going to report to that business credit bureau.
The fourth most frequently asked question that I receive on a daily basis about how to build business credit is, why aren't my vendors reporting? So you may have an issue with impatience, or there may be an error in your business information. So if you've been using a vendor for several months and there's still nothing reporting to the business credit vendor, and you have been informed that this is a vendor that report, because whether you know it or not all vendors report, right? So when you do sign up for a vendor that reports, and after several months, at least after 90 days, if it isn't reporting, you may want to go ahead and contact them to verify what your business information is. Because if you have a business address, for example, that differs from what Dun & Bradstreet sees, what the IRS sees, what the Secretary of State sees, then this could lead to denials. So one thing I want you to do is go ahead and head over to your NAV.
Guys, that's very important. Your information has to be consistent across the board. And Kelvin mentions here something interesting, is that if you know that you've heard probably somebody else saying that this vendor reports, but it's been 90 days and they haven't reported on your business credit bureaus, so pick up the phone, call that vendor, and make sure that the information that they have matches the information that should be for your business, right? So make sure that that happens, guys. If that vendor is not reporting, I've heard a lot of mixed comments in the Facebook group saying, well, Quill is not reporting, but then somebody else says, yeah, they report every 30 days. So make sure that your information is consistent across the board. That's very important. And also, that is actually the cause of a lot of denials. Remember that vendors are not the same. The underwriters, they look at different data points, and some of them, they're easily turned off, guys. And sometimes, guys, it's not even an underwriter looking at your application. They use algorithms and they use automations. Imagine if a person has to verify your applications. I mean, there's thousands of people submitting applications, guys. So they have to make it really effective for them to approve all these applications. So these underwriters, sometimes they just use algorithms to go and confirm the information. And remember, these algorithms, they're not human, there are no sentiments, there's not moral. They're gonna, like, if they see one piece of information that is conflicting with other and something doesn't match, the algorithm automatically is going to deny you. So just make sure that all your information is consistent across the board.
.com or NAV app, and sign in to the settings, business settings on your NAV account, and take a look at the business addresses that you see listed under Dun & Bradstreet, under Equifax Commercial, and under Experian Commercial, and make sure that your address is the same across the board. Now, this same theory applies to all of your business information. Your email must match, your phone number must match, everything else must match across the board, because this could lead to denials. Mismatched data is like one of the #1 leading factors behind denials with business credit.
So yeah, that's another thing. I mean, you wanna look professional, guys. You wanna look 100% professionals. Have a business email address. Don't put applications with Gmails or Yahoos and stuff like that. It doesn't look good. In some cases, they don't even accept an application with a Gmail and stuff like that. It has to be a professional email with a company name after the @ So just make sure, guys, that you look legit, that you look professional. Remember that you're a business owner. Carry yourself as such. If they see some things like that, they're not going to take you as a reputable business. Okay, just make sure that you look the part and have all the information professional across the board.
Be on the lookout for that. And I would recommend not only just using Nav, I would recommend at least once a quarter to go to each website and get a full copy of your business credit report. Go to Dun & Bradstreet's website, go to Equifax website, go to Experian website. Even if you have to pay for it, it's worth it, because realistically speaking, Nav is behind the ball, or can be behind the ball, when giving you updates.
Yeah, that's something that I've experienced myself. The only advantage for Nav, you can see your business Experian, your business Equifax, and your Dun & Bradstreet, all three in one place. That's the only advantage. But I wouldn't trust Nav because they do not update the information as often as they should. So don't trust Nav too much, and use it just as a reference, guys. Just don't trust it, because sometimes the information is not accurate. Okay, guys, that's it. I wanted to do a reaction video, but I just wanted to pick one of my fellow creators. In this case, I picked out a video from Kelvin. Again, Kelvin and we haven't met each other face to face, but we've been talking over text. He's a really nice person. I recommend that you go ahead and subscribe to his channel. I'm gonna drop a link down below to this video so you can go ahead and watch it. So I'm also going to drop the link to his calendar in case you need a one-on-one consultation for your personal credit. He can definitely help you with that. So I'm gonna post the link down below. Feel free to schedule a consultation with him. So guys, that's it. If you found some value in this video, go ahead and leave a like. Now, if you want me to do a reaction video like this with other content creators, let me know. I will be glad to do so. There's a lot of material that I would like to go over with you guys and see where we stand, the things that we agree and the things that we disagree. And this gives you guys a better perspective, because I know that you guys are receiving mixed information from different sources. So this allows you to have multiple sources in one channel, and you'll be able to see both sides of the coins, right? And see, you know, the differences. But this is not a right or wrong video. This is not bashing on my fellow creator Kelvin. Again, Kelvin and I are friends. I can say that we've talked over text. We never met though. But what I'm trying to say is there's no bad blood, and this is nothing negative. Just for me, do a reaction for you guys. So if you like the content, and if you want to see other video reactions with other content creators, make sure that you comment down below. Let me know what content creator from the business credit arena, from the business credit field, would you like me to do a reaction video to, and post it down below in the comments, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Peace. Yo solamente grabo las canciones, ellas se pegan solas. Ellos quieren que me vaya mal, pero todo mejora. Estaba buscando dinero rápido, perdón por la demora.